Hey there, good evening everyone, and welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph, and I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So this is my Monday night look back at a classic rock album, and the album I've chosen to do tonight is this one, the sweet Desolation Boulevard. So basically what this show is about, actually I'll hold it up so you can get a good look at it. Basically what this show is about is every week on Monday night I pick a classic album greater than 15 years old. That's my definition, not anybody else's. That's just the way I see it. And the reason I like doing this particular show so much is because I get to pick an album that I like. It's not a review of good and bad albums or anything like that. It's just me talking about the albums I like. And this is one of them. I love this album a lot. It's in my playlist, currently in my playlist, which I haven't been able to listen to much because of the transition area about what's going on. And before we get into this album too much, I just want to let you know I've got a new setup here. This is probably a bit of a temporary one. There's still some things that I want to move around and judge. I want to get my my Gates of Ascension posters back in. You can see the one in the one corner, but the other one is too high, so I'm going to have to figure that out. But at any rate, this is a solid album. Is their third studio album, released on November the 30th, 1974. Was recorded at the Audio International Studios. About 41 minutes long on the RCA label, and in actual fact, this particular album is on Capitol Records, if you can see it there. Mike Chapman with Mickey Chen doing Nicky Chen doing the production on the album. So on this you have Brian Connolly lead vocals. You got Steve Priest on bass, lead vocals and backing vocals. You got Andy Scott on guitars, synthesizers, lead vocals and backing vocals, and Mick Tucker on drums, percussion and backing vocals. So this is the classic lineup of the Sweet. I know at some point in their history they kind of broke up, and you had Brian Connolly's The Sweet, you had Andy Scott's The Sweet, you had Steve Priest The Sweet, although I don't think, maybe Brian Connolly didn't, maybe it was just the other two, but there was different versions of The Sweet, based because you couldn't have people go to court, and they just said, well, as long as you're not just calling it The Sweet, you can add something in front of it, and then you can still call it The Sweet. So that's what they did. But anyways, this is their third studio album. I believe Andy Scott was the one who said he thinks this is their best. I'm not going to argue with him. I think he might be right. I think this is the absolute great album. Lots of really heavy stuff. The funny thing about this album is a lot of people may disagree, because the two radio stables on this, Ballroom Blitz and Fox on the Run, most people consider those to be among their best songs and great songs, but I think the deeper cuts on this album are better, to be honest with you. I really do. Ballroom Blitz, of course, we all know that one, great tune, and Fox on the Run, which is the 7th track on here, is probably my favorite Sweet song, but there's a lot of really good stuff on this. The 16s, love that song, really catchy. No, You Don't is a pretty heavy song, one of their heavier songs on the album. This band is a lot heavier than the pop songs on the radio, you might think. Lots of pretty, I would say they're pretty hard rock. Then you got the classic kind of different type of song for that time period called AC/DC. If you've heard it, you know what I'm talking about. Really great tune. I Want to Be Committed, pretty solid tune. Sweet FA, that's another solid tune. Then you got, of course, Fox on the Run. Set Me Free, terrific song. Into the Night, I like this a lot. But then you come to probably my favorite track on this album, Solid Gold Brass. I don't know what it is about this song, but I just absolutely love it. Anyways, I don't need to hold that up anymore. I think it's been held up long enough. This is a really, really solidly good, heavy album. I would call this a hard rock album. there are a couple of tunes on it. They're kind of poppy. Ballroom Blitz and Fox on the Run are both that, and there's a couple of others that kind of fall into that range. But there's a lot of kind of heavier, hard rock and stuff on this. Lots of solid, beefy guitar sounds to it. The bass is strong, and of course Mick Tucker's drums, very much underrated as a drummer, and I see him coming through here pretty strong. The band is a little bit, they're a glam band, so they got that kind of image that they're trying to create, that a lot of glam bands of the time period tried to create, and I think they do a good job. Like they come across strong, I think, in a lot of ways. Instrumentally, I think they're a pretty solid band, better than people would normally give a band like this credit for. Definitely better than most of the bands who do this kind of stuff. And so if you're looking to get into this band, this is the album to start with, in my opinion. It's their best album. It's heavy. It's got some radio stable hits. It's got some great beefy guitars on it. Some really strong drumming. Overall, the instrumentation is really good, and the music is really catchy. That's the big thing. You got some really solid, catchy music. So there you have it, The Sweet, and their album Desolation Boulevard from 1974, third studio album. I hope you enjoyed this first episode in the new location. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'm going to try my best to get back to the normal setup soon, so that we're doing all the videos that I love to do, and I know that some of you are hoping that I can get back to doing some of these month-long kind of series that I was doing before. I enjoyed doing them, and I know some people like them, and so I want to get back to that. So the next episode on the show will come on Wednesday night with my favorites, in which I'm going to rank the songs on the album Trick of the Tail by Genesis. This is something I've done a couple times. I want to try do it again. It's become a little bit interesting for me to see exactly what songs I do like the best on some of these classic albums and why I like them. So we'll be doing Trick of the Tail on Wednesday, and I hope you can come and see me do that. Anyways, I hope you have a good evening. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you again next Monday with another look back at a classic rock album. Take care.